It's the Ross Tucker Football Podcast.
Oh, yeah, it is. But it's not just any Ross Tucker Football Podcast. It is a Power Rankings Tuesday, presented, of course, by DraftKings. New week. Well, actually, the new week started yesterday. But anyway, we got to spread the word winner via social media. You guys know how much I enjoy when you spread the word via social media. You know how much I enjoy giving away these awesome press passes. I will get 2 more amazing ones this weekend with the North Dakota State, Montana State FCS championship game on Saturday, and then the win and you're in game, Chargers at the Raiders on Sunday night. We'll have a spread the word winner Friday. We'll have a sponsor confirmation email winner. Take advantage of any of our sponsors that you hear me say on any of the shows, AutoZone, ExpressVPN, Raycon, Ladder, or just go to rosstucker.com and see what we got for you. We got deals for pretty much all of them for you, and we use all of them. We don't take them unless they're things that we've used. And then we got the YouTube shout out, which is very cool. You get like a cameo style video that people actually pay for. You get it for free just by subscribing to youtube.com/Ross Tucker NFL. It's Big Show time.
The Big Show.
Morning, Ross. In likely his final home game, Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers beat the Browns 26-14. TJ Watt with 4 sacks in the win. Now, Pittsburgh does still need a lot of help, but they are mathematically still alive in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. I would be absolutely stunned if the Colts lost to the Jaguars. But last night was a good night for the Pittsburgh Steelers and for Ben Roethlisberger. And I'm not afraid to admit it wasn't just my 3-unit bet on the Even Money podcast. I was happy for Ben Roethlisberger. You know, the guy has had a terrific career. I think he has matured over the years, both on and off the field, and bounced back from some behavior that I think he pretty clearly regrets from when he was younger. And so to be able to go out like that with a win, to have that moment, that last home game, which it pretty clearly seemed like it was, that was special. That was a special night for Roethlisberger. You could see the emotions even before the game and just kind of how he was feeling when he ran out of that tunnel before the game, when he took the knee at the end. You know, that's a big part of what I love about sports. So I thought that was pretty awesome. As for the game itself, just some random thoughts. Austin Hooper, I mean, he dropped several balls for the Browns. That was a bad free agent signing. That was money not well spent. And it's interesting because I said during the game that I just don't feel like Najee Harris is that explosive. You know, I feel like when I watched the Cardinals this year that James Conner has had more juice than Najee Harris, to which everybody on Twitter last night at Ross Tucker NFL said, "Oh, look at their line, dude. You got to consider the line." My personal favorite thing ever, when people on the internet tell me that offensive line play or offensive linemen matter. Thank you. That's very important that you tell me that. I'm not aware of that. I take that into consideration when I'm making my observations. I still think Connor looked like he had more juice. But Najee Harris, give him a lot of credit. He has been a workhorse. They have fed him the ball. They fed him last night. He had a huge night with a ton of touches again, just like TJ Watt had a huge night. I really got to be honest with you. I don't know what the Cleveland Browns were doing last night. I don't know why they threw the ball so much. I don't know why they left James Hudson, their rookie 4th-round pick, right tackle, one-on-one with TJ Watt as often as they did. Watt has 4 sacks. He's now at 21 and a half. He pretty much locked up Defensive Player of the Year. He's got a game to go. He might break Michael Strahan's record, and you might say, well, yeah, but he had one more game. Yeah, but he didn't even play in 2 games. So I don't really think that will have much of an asterisk. But to give him that many one-on-one chances just didn't make a whole lot of sense. Baker Mayfield, as mentioned, really struggled. Going to be so interesting. I feel like I'll say this now. I feel like the Browns will try to get a better quarterback or a different quarterback than Baker Mayfield, but keep him as under contract unless they do. Right? So if they can get like Russell Wilson or someone like that, I think they would do it and trade Baker. Otherwise, they'll keep Baker as their backup option. They'll try to keep it quiet. I don't know if it'll work. They threw the ball a ton. I guess Kevin Stefanski said Chubb was hurt. But, I mean, Mayfield had so many balls batted. 9 sacks. You get sacked 9 times, a lot of that is on the quarterback. Threw 2 interceptions. I mean, 1 million incompletions. It was bad. It was really, really bad for Baker Mayfield and the Browns. That was a tough watch. It was almost like they wanted to see what Baker had, and what he had was not real good. Speaking of not real good, it's been a rough couple weeks with people passing. We've talked about it on the show. Some people passing when they're really young. You know, one thing I've thought about, because we have them as a sponsor, is Ladder and the insurance you can get from Ladder. You know, I'll say Jeff Dickerson. I contributed to what Adam Schefter is doing, raising money for him. It's over $1 million, which is amazing. But certainly the thought occurred to me at some point after I heard the news about Jeff Dickerson. I wonder, what kind of life insurance he had. I hope he had a great one. Hope he had a great policy. I really do. I know this. Ladder is 100% digital. No doctors, no needles, no paperwork. When you apply for $3 million in coverage or less, there's no hidden fees. You can cancel at any time and get a full refund if you change your mind in the first 30 days. Ladder policies are issued by insurers with long, proven histories of paying claims. They're rated A and A+ by AM Best. Remember, life insurance costs more as you age, so now's the time to cross it off your list. So go to ladderlife.com/Ross today to see if you are instantly approved. That's LADDER life.com/Ross. Ladderlife.com/Ross.
It's time for the all-important Power Rankings. The worst team in the history of the NFL is...
Number 32, once again, the Jaguars.
Right, which is why they're not beating the Colts. Not a lot to say about them other than, I think I said this yesterday on the show, I don't think the coaching change really made much of an impact. I kind of thought there was a chance it would make more of one. Now I guess the fans are trying to get Trent Baalke fired because they think that limits who they can get as a head coach. And you know what? On some level, they're probably right. I don't necessarily blame the Jags fans.
Number 31, the Giants.
So the last couple of games, the last couple of weeks, Joe Judge has been talking 1,000,000 miles an hour. And I think he's talking to try to save his job, right? I think if anything, he's done the opposite. I think all of this nonsense he's been spewing has really, if anything, turned the fan base against him, perhaps even more than they already were. I think he might have talked himself out of a job the last couple weeks.
Number 30, the other team in New York, the Jets.
And honestly, I feel much better about the Jets right now than I do about the Giants. They've gotten better. They got a bunch of games where they've scored 2 offensive touchdowns. They should get guys back like Becton next year. They've got some young skill guys. they can build together with Zach Wilson, Elijah Moore, Michael Carter. I just think it's I think the Jets are on the right path, which is more than you can say about the Giants.
29, the Carolina Panthers.
That's an interesting one. There's a bunch of these teams where their head coaching decision will be an interesting one. I personally would bring back Matt Rule. You gave him a 6-year deal. I would bring back Matt Rule for one more year. You have to get him a viable option at the quarterback position. You must get him a real option there. By the way, we will do a Power Rankings Tuesday next week as well. That'll be the last one.
28, the Houston Texans.
Disappointing performance, I thought, against the Niners. I mean, they were right there in the fourth quarter, but the way they faded, that killed my Texans bet on the Even Money podcast, unfortunately. But they have some things they can build on and feel like I feel better about the Texans and like the Jets and the Lions than I do about the Jaguars, Giants, and Panthers right now, if that makes sense.
27, it's the Lions.
You know, they've got a couple young guys, Hawkinson, DeAndre Swift, Amon-Ra St. Brown, that they can build around. I don't know, maybe they draft a quarterback at some point, but still have Goff as their starter. But I guess I feel like, the Lions are going to give you everything they've got and that they love their head coach. That's a positive. That's nice.
Number 26, Chicago Bears.
Seems clear there's going to be major changes in Chicago. I don't know that it'll make a difference. They need whoever they can get that can get the most out of Justin Fields, period. The irony, of course, is that they hired Matt Nagy because they wanted someone that could get the most out of Mitch Trubisky, and Matt Nagy did exactly that. And they won 12 games with Matt Nagy his first year. So they're literally looking for the next Matt Nagy to come in and get Justin Fields to play the best he ever has and win 12 games.
25, the Washington football team.
Another interesting one. I doubt they make a head coaching change. They need they're also another one that I think will be trying to upgrade at quarterback. Here's the thing, though. I'm kind of saying that about a bunch of teams, aren't I? I mean, bunch of teams that'll be looking to get better at the quarterback position. So whether it's the veterans or whether it's the draft, there will be teams looking for new guys at that position.
24, Seattle Seahawks.
It feels like they've actually played better at the end of the year here, but I don't really know what that means. I don't really know where they go from here. There's certainly going to be some change. I don't think you're going to see a run it back situation with the Seahawks. I guess I just don't really know what that change will be.
Number 23, Atlanta Falcons.
Their performance against the Bills was the way it's been kind of all year for them. They're kind of right there. They just need to get a better roster. And I think that they did the right thing in the draft last year, getting Pitts and staying with Matt Ryan. I really do.
22, Cleveland Browns.
Kind of already talked about them. Very disappointing season for the Browns to be all the way at 22. Very disappointing. They have more talent than this. They lost a lot of close games, and they're going to have to figure out what they want to do at the quarterback position, but I already discussed that.
21, Denver Broncos.
Wow. It's funny. It's like if you're in the bottom 10, you have a decision to make a quarterback and a head coach. Like, this is where you're at. That's the deal. You're in the bottom 10, that's what you're looking at. Quarterback and head coach.
Number 20, New Orleans Saints.
So the Saints, obviously, another team that I think will be right there trying to get Russell Wilson. Don't feel like they're that far away. They've had a rough year with injuries, rough year with the COVID list at times, but they still have a decent amount of pieces. They need those pieces to be healthy, and they need a quarterback that can kind of bring them all together and help them overcome the odds, maybe rewrite the playbook, deliver under pressure. The MVPs of small business lead their teams to victory all year long. Visa is proud to provide playmakers everywhere with more tools to help grow their business and help them achieve even greater success. Because the more people we can empower, the more we all win. Visa, a network working for everyone.
Nice segue. Number 19, the Ravens.
You like that? You like that? Ravens, Lamar Jackson's not playing in this game. Get out of here. I mean, they're acting like he might. No chance. They're eliminated from the playoffs. How does it help them at all to have him re-aggravate that ankle? If anything, it helps them to get Tyler Huntley some more reps for future years and to see how Huntley can play. I do not think you will be seeing Lamar.
Number 18, the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Uh-oh, Brian, we have a situation. Something happened. I think
You're right.
I think that 19 was supposed to be the Vikings. So I had the Ravens twice. 19 was supposed to be the Vikings. So the Vikings, it looks like Zimmer's going to get fired. I really like Mike Zimmer. I think it's probably time for a change there. The Minnesota Vikings, they're a team that I think it's fair to say they underachieved this year. And you can look at different reasons why, different logic why. But to not make the playoffs 3 out of the last 4 years is not good enough. And I think Mike Zimmer's a good coach, but I think it's time to move on. As for the Steelers, they're in an interesting situation. I just have a lot of respect for that organization. Mike Tomlin, again, clinched that he won't have a losing season. They never relent. They never give in. They never have a bad year. They'll have a down year, but not a bad year. And, man, you got to respect that if you are a Steelers fan.
Number 16, the Miami Dolphins.
Miami Dolphins. Kind of crazy that they won that many games in a row, and yet they're already out of the playoff race with a game to go. I think we're going to learn something about them in Week 18 against the Patriots. I'm kind of curious to see how the Dolphins respond. I think that game is more important for Tua Tagovailoa than maybe people realize. How you finish matters. Titans game was bad. If he has another bad one, that's the last thing the owner and everybody remembers. If he has a good one, then the Titans game feels like sort of a one-game blip in the second half of the year.
Number 15, the LA Chargers.
San Diego Superchargers. San Diego Chargers. So really looking forward to that game Sunday night. I got to tell you, as a broadcaster, it's very cool to be at a championship game of any kind, like the FCS Championship Saturday. Really cool to be at a win and you're in game. It's just there is a tension there that you feel. Really looking forward to it. Should be an awesome game.
Where are we? Number 14, the 49ers.
San Francisco 49ers. San Francisco Niners. Doesn't have quite the same ring to it, but it has the same cadence, if you will. So here's the deal with the 49ers, all right? That game against the Rams, that might be my favorite game of the weekend. The Rams want that division. They want that division bad. They want that home playoff game. They want maybe the 2 seed. But the Niners need to win that game because I don't think the Saints are going to lose to the Falcons. They could, but I don't think they're going to. Those are some epic contests right there. So I don't think Jimmy Garoppolo is going to play. I think Kyle Shanahan's full of poop. So can Trey Lance get it done against the Rams? Woo!
Number 13, the Raiders.
Thoroughly impressed by what those guys have done the last 3 games. Thoroughly impressed. They could have gone off the rails. They could have given in. Nope. I think Bisaccia, the leaders, Derek Carr deserve a lot of credit, but now they got even more drama this week, Brian. I don't know if you saw Nate Hobbs, their rookie nickelback, who has played very well. He was arrested after the game, 4 a.m. Monday morning. I guess the car was just pulled over in the lane to leave a parking garage, and he was over the legal limit. There is no excuse. It is hard to believe, after what happened with Henry Ruggs, that another player in the NFL, period, let alone on the Raiders, could put themselves in that situation. Really, really hard to believe and unacceptable. Let me be clear about that. I would also say, I think more 22-year-olds do stuff like that all the time than we realize. And that doesn't make it okay. It just makes it the reality that a lot of NFL players are like other people their age.
Number 12, the Philadelphia Eagles.
Eagles, Eagles. So the Eagles, they have a smart organization. Somehow, Bri, they told their players, listen, if at any point you think you might have COVID or whatever, at least it appears this way, get tested on a Monday. They had 12 guys go on the COVID list yesterday, including Jason Kelsey, Fletcher Cox, Dallas Goedert. Now, they could all play Saturday. I don't know if they will. The Eagles already have clinched a playoff spot. I don't know if they will or not, but pretty interesting that that's the case. And now those guys won't get tested the following week, so they'll have them for the following week. So, there's going to be some teams missing guys in playoff games on the COVID list. I mean, I think most of the Vikings O-line and Eric Kendricks just went on the COVID list.
Number 11, the Indianapolis Colts.
So, obviously, a disappointing performance against the Raiders. They got to beat the Jags. They will. Still think they're a real threat in the AFC playoffs.
Number 10, the Patriots.
I think how they play against the Dolphins matters as well. I think the Patriots need to get some mo. They got some mo against the Jaguars. I think they need to get even some more mo against the Dolphins and going to the playoffs feeling good about themselves. Look, Belichick in a one-game, playoff situation, we've seen it before. I think the Patriots can win a game or two.
Number 9, the Cardinals.
Yeah, that was just a terrific win for them that I feel like they needed to have. Whether they end up winning the division or not, they needed to kind of get back on the right track and feel good about themselves going into the playoffs. And that gives them a real chance to do so. I mean, that was a big win for the Cardinals to get that win like they did in Dallas. Speaking of get what you need, I mean, I love ordering stuff online. I've said this before. If I'm ordering food, I'm only ordering it nowadays somewhere where I have the app and I can order ahead of time. I derive a lot of joy from saving money. That's AutoZone and saving time. AutoZone, they've got the most convenient pickup plan for auto parts I'm aware of. You can get free same-day store pickup, which is amazing. Order online, free same-day store pickup, or you can get it delivered with free next-day delivery. I mean, either way, how can you complain about that? Every car is different. That means every car job is too. That's why AutoZone offers you more ways to shop your way. They've also got over 6,000 stores nationwide ready to help you at a moment's notice. So next time you're starting a job, start it by shopping your way at AutoZone.com with their free same-day pickup and free next day delivery. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Number 8, Dallas Cowboys.
Pretty disappointing, and I would say concerning loss for the Cowboys. Dropped them 3 spots in that they lose Michael Gallup to injury, and they just still are not firing on all cylinders on the offensive side of the ball. That Washington Sunday night game looks like the anomaly, not them getting back on track.
Number 7, Buffalo Bills.
Kind of feel like we know who the Bills are. Solid team. They're going to need Josh Allen to be Superman for 3 games in the playoffs. He's going to have to do that for all 3 games for the Bills to get to the Super Bowl.
Number 6, Cincinnati Bengals.
You know, I had to move them ahead of some of these other teams. Back-to-back, really impressive wins. The offense is totally on fire. Until I'm shown differently, the Bengals are a team that has the fire to beat anybody.
Number 5, Tennessee Titans.
So I moved up the Titans quite a bit. That was an impressive win over the Dolphins. You know, the Titans have kind of limped into the playoffs a little bit. They haven't been all that impressive down the stretch. They're lacking firepower. Well, guess what? They got it done in the 4th quarter against the Niners when they had to. They got it done against the Dolphins, blew them out. The last 5 quarters for the Titans, they are playing much, much better, which is why I moved them up in my power rankings.
Number 4, the Los Angeles Rams.
Kind of feel the same as I felt about them for a while. I've kept them at 4. Really curious to see, I think like everybody is, how Matthew Stafford performs in the postseason.
Number 3, Tampa Bay Bucks.
So the Bucks didn't technically release Antonio Brown yet. I think they're trying to figure out what they need to call it so that they don't have to pay him anymore. I talked about Antonio Brown yesterday. I put out a video on social media this morning at Ross Tucker NFL that I encourage you to check it out. Twitter and Facebook, facebook.com/Ross Tucker NFL. But I still think, look, do I think the Bucs are going to go to the Super Bowl again? No, I don't think they're going to win 3 games again. I think they're a little bit too beat up. And the guy when injury hurts. But I know this, nobody really wants to play him.
Number 2, Green Bay Packers.
So I think some people thought I would put the Packers 1 after the Chiefs lost. Some people thought wrong. I still think the Chiefs are the best team right now. Give Burrow and the Bengals credit. As for the Packers, you know, it's hard to really judge them very much based on their game against the Vikings and Sean Mannion. I do find it interesting that Aaron Rodgers says he wants to play in this game against the Lions. That makes no sense to me. But if he really wants to, I guess you'd have to at least strongly consider that.
Russ's number 1 team, which is totally meaningless, but it's fun and will get many of you incredibly annoyed, is...
Well, you already said it. The Kansas City Chiefs, number 1.
Right. I still think they're the best team in football right now. And I think that loss, though, to the Bengals is a really tough one because huge difference between winning 2 games at Arrowhead and winning 3, including 1 somewhere else. Huge difference. Although the Titans might lose before then, but it still makes it seem like they're still going to have to win 3 games, which increases their degree of difficulty, and they might not be able to do it. That said, I still believe they are the best team in pro football right now. I think you guys are the best, all of you, including our patrons. How about a shout out for Greg F., our newest patron, patreon.com/RT Media. Tell me about yourself on our private Slack channel, Greg. And then Pizza Boy Brewing, Sporticulture, Vision Comics with an X, HumanHeadNYC.com, and SteakhouseSports.com. I think we're done here.
Thanks for listening to the Ross Tucker Football Podcast. Make sure to also subscribe to the Fantasy Feast, Even Money, Business of Sports, and College Draft. All available at Apple Podcasts, rosstucker.com, or wherever podcasts can be found.
A lot of times on the show, I mentioned DraftKings. Here's what you need to know. You got to be 21 or older, New Jersey, Indiana, or Pennsylvania only. New customers only. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER, or in Indiana, 1-800-9-WITH-IT. By the way, if what I was talking about included a deposit bonus, doesn't always, sometimes it does. Deposit bonus requires 25 times playthrough, and deposit bonuses are paid out in site credit.